we'll wait to see if it shows up. Hopefully it does. No, don't go red. Okay, good. It went green.
Is that for the noises?
Green is for the strength of the
signal
connection. Yeah, it went red for a second, but it looks green now, which is good.
Relax.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Let's see if this works. All right, I've got the feed, hun, so feel free to do the intro when you're ready.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Tailosive Talks podcast. How's everyone doing?
Good. I'm glad to be here.
Of course.
How's everyone who's here doing it? Anyways, it's not just another episode. It's a very special first episode of the new set from the home office now, which is exciting because we tried to replicate the last set as best as possible while still mixing it up a little bit.
Yeah, I actually think this is better because now you can see the T up front and center. Sorry,
definitely.
Just hit it.
Here's the T.
I'm Louise, by the way, and I'm joined today with my lovely husband, Andrew Erickson.
Oh, thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I've been looking forward to this for a while. We finally got it here. We finally got everything moved over. This was the last piece of the puzzle, which was the whole project yesterday, was figuring out how to hang this thing.
And you did well.
Thank you.
I wouldn't have figured it out myself.
Our landlord helped us a lot. I probably couldn't have done it all by myself, but he knew where the studs were so we could mount everything. But the soundproofing was probably more time consuming.
Yeah, that probably took us maybe like an hour and a half or an hour.
Oh my God. It felt like forever just to get all the soundproofing down from the old office and then start hanging it over here.
And we use T-pins, which are impossible to push into a wall. Like, your thumbs will be bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that...
My thumbs bled several times. Yeah.
Well, that's because you have psoriasis.
Right. But I still blame the T-pins.
Good job, Ben. You did the most of the work, and I did the fine-tuning.
You did.
Like all the edge pieces.
You're like a carpenter.
A carpenter?
A carpentress?
Carpentress.
Is there a female term
I think that's
for
still
carpenter?
called a carpenter.
Okay, carpenter. Okay.
Yeah.
You're like a carpenter because of how you handle the soundproofing on the corners of the wall here, which I try to cover up best I can.
Well, you guys can't see, but we have an AC unit right there, and I like molded it perfectly to fit.
We framed this so the AC unit is right there, which is just out of frame. So hopefully they can't see it just to try to not break the illusion. But we're telling you all about the broken illusion anyway. But the Wi-Fi is definitely better, even for the Mac Mini, which is nice. I can noticeably see a better bitrate.
And what does that mean for us or for the audience?
For the everyday folk?
Is it higher quality or?
Kind of. It's not a higher frame rate and it's not a higher resolution. It's just a better 1080p. It's a better frame rate because OBS essentially has to compress everything when we go live into a smaller file so that it can beam it up to YouTube servers.
Boom it up
or beam it up. And with a small bit rate, because our goal on the podcast is to keep the stream like stable so that there's not a lot of jump cuts or there's not a lot of frame drops. So with the bit rate being higher, it just means that thanks to the better internet we have at home, we can have more data, more detail, and less compression so that you get a closer to raw file when it comes to what's being sent up to the cloud and what the upload speed is. It looks a bit crispier, I guess is the term. So
that's good. I didn't know, or I didn't realize that there are differences between 1080p and 1080p. Like
yeah,
it's still 1080p.
1080p and 1080p can be different.
It's kind of like how your 4K camera, like your Ursa, is that what it's called? The Blackmagic Ursa is much better than a 4K video on my phone or your phone, even though it's technically the same thing. It's more compressed.
It has all to do with compression because your iPhone can shoot 4K at 60 and a lot of cameras, professional grade cameras, cannot record 4K at 60, but that doesn't make the image better or worse. It just says what the resolution and frame rate is. It doesn't necessarily say how much compression is going on or how much detail is lost in that compression. So smartphones obviously being very small and they're trying to keep things very low data and so that the phone doesn't overheat. There's a lot of compression that goes on, but still, they're getting better. So
that's good.
Yeah, there's been a lot of stories we've wanted to tell, but now we can because the Talks podcast is back. We've had an amazing story. Not amazing. We could probably write a book just about Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, and selling things online in general.
Selling things on the internet is, oh my God. It's like the most frustrating thing in a lot of ways because people are so flaky. They're so incredibly flaky.
Yeah.
Which we've both experienced between selling different things on Facebook, which I don't really use Facebook for anything else. I just know there's a ton of people on it. So when you put your things on there to sell, there's going to be a ton of interest. And we've had pretty good success, even to this day, people buying our old stuff, because obviously the old office was very big. It had a lot of furniture. It had a lot of things that we couldn't take home.
Yeah.
So we've been trying to sell what we can't take. And
we were going from 1,600 square feet altogether, something like that, to now like around 700, 800 square feet, just our house.
Much smaller.
Plus, he's not using up the whole house for his office. He has one.
Right.
He has the bigger bedroom, and then he also has like half of the living room for the set.
And it's bigger bedroom by 2 square feet.
You keep saying that.
I know.
It's more than that.
Well, we measured it, remember?
You get closet space.
Yeah, where the
bedroom.
TV goes.
Yeah, so it's using up the space.
Okay, so maybe like 10 square feet.
Yeah.
Okay, a little.
That's more.
A little bigger.
More honest. But what has been your favorite, well, maybe not favorite, but like the most memorable story so far of you trying to sell something on Facebook?
Well, there's definitely good ones and bad ones. The bad one was definitely people who straight up, like, they ask you a ton of questions.
Seem really interested.
They seem very interested in something. They agree to a price, and they're like, okay, that sounds good. And then they say they're going, and then they're going to meet up with you to buy this item, and then they don't show up, and they don't respond. Because I've been trying to set up, and unpack my new office here at home, and trying to get all that ready and get all that unpacked, and still trying to make content for the network simultaneously. And when you're in the middle of waiting for someone to show up to buy something,
you put your life on hold.
The old place, we got to drive away from home, got to drive back to the old office, and then wait there, and they're not showing up yet. So you wait, and you don't want to leave immediately because it's like, well, maybe they're lost, or maybe they got held up, maybe they're still on their way. So I don't want to leave right away. So I text them, and I'm like, are you on your way? Do you have an ETA? Nothing. They didn't read any message. One sketchy one, but by the way, they never showed up. So I waited for a flat hour, and I just kept texting them. And I was like, hey, I can't wait around all day. I'm sorry. I've got stuff to do. I have appointments.
Yeah, that sucks.
It does suck because you're worried that, they're going to show up right when you leave and then get mad at you.
You're rude.
Right.
Even though they made you wait for a whole hour.
Exactly. So I never heard back from that person. They never even read my messages of like, what's your ETA and stuff like that. Real quick, we got a couple super chats from Stephanie and Grant Hardy, who donated 99 cents. Thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Appreciate that.
Riley says he or she, sorry, I don't know if you're a boy or girl, can hear the AC. That is actually our fridge. It is very loud.
Well, you can hear that from these?
I guess. I mean, our AC's not on, so
yeah, our air conditioning's not on, but I'd like, let me hear the podcast for just a second.
Okay.
It's very quiet.
Yeah, you must have eagle ears.
Riley's got eagle ears, but
also, someone earlier asked what kind of watch I'm wearing. It's the Series 3 stainless steel.
Correct. We're kind of matching.
GPS and cellular.
In that way.
I decided to change it up. I had the was it black stainless steel or?
Yeah, you had the space black stainless steel.
Black.
Right.
That one was nice too, but I think this looks more sharp. With the white band.
No, I like it.
Anyways, continue with your story. I'm very interested.
No, it's all right. It's all right. At the same time, I waited for an hour, so that was a big chunk out of my day. Plus, I had to drive there and drive back for nothing. Didn't even get a sale out of it. Didn't even sell anything. So, like, a big chunk of my content production schedule was removed. Another sketchy one was someone who showed up, but they didn't know English. Did I tell you about that one?
I think you might have. What were they speaking? Spanish?
I think it was Hmong.
Oh, what did they
say? They weren't Spanish. They they weren't. They were speaking a little bit of Hmong, but they knew very, very rough English, because essentially they were just like pointing. They were asking to buy a little fold-up table we have, and they showed up, and I brought out the fold-up table, and I set it up for them, and I said, "Here you go. Here's your table," and they said,
something
bigger.
Oh,
and I was like.
Small.
I was like, this is the table. This is what you asked for. Like, the dimensions are on our post. We show how big it is. And he's like, small. Need big table. Oh. It was like very, very broken. Like, I said, well, did you see the picture on Facebook? And he didn't know. He didn't understand what I was saying. So that was confusing.
So he ended up leaving?
Yeah, he just took off. And he was like, okay. And then got back into the car.
That's actually happened multiple times. One lady came to get like a little shelf, and I'm dumb and did not measure them correctly, so I gave her the wrong measurements. She came, she was like, it's too big. So I mean, not the same thing, but similar.
Different problem.
I felt really bad. She seemed like a sweet lady, and I was like, I'm so sorry, I should have measured it. Actually, you should not eyeball things when you're selling.
No.
And then another lady,
I'm not good at eyeballing either.
Yeah, another lady just luckily she didn't come. She just texted me saying she didn't want the item once I gave her the measurements because it was too small or too big. But yeah, that's a good tip for people who are selling things. Measure things accurately. Yeah, that will save you a lot of trouble.
The measurement app is awful, Apple Jockey. Don't use the measurement app.
It's not accurate at all.
I wouldn't recommend anyone use the measurement app unless they're trying to just show off what a phone can do. But in regards to actually measuring things to cut or like legitimate dimensions, it's wrong very often. Very often it's wrong.
Do you think AI will ever be so accurate that a carpenter could wear like some Apple glasses with the AR and then like wouldn't need to measure anything? They would just cut right away? Or is that too tricky?
No, that's not technology I don't think could be perfected. It's not perfect right now, but I think it could be. I think it's there. It's close. It's usually off by a lot, but it's getting the general direction. Like when you use the measure app on the iPhone with ARKit, like you can measure, it's like, oh, that's 36 inches, and then you measure it, it's like, actually it's 40 inches. So it's just a little rough right now. Over time, I bet they could get it like exact. And then engineers and stuff just wear the glasses. They don't need a measuring tape.
Right. That'd be cool.
That would be kind of cool.
Did you have one more story to tell? I remember you had like a really interesting one.
Well, the nice one was the brown L couch, which we sat on a lot. I don't know if you guys remember it, but
that couch is now gone.
That couch is gone, but I didn't really like the couch very much. It wasn't.
It was really uncomfortable.
It was very bumpy because it was basically, it wasn't really a couch. It was like 6 chairs that you push together.
It's
and then
a sectional.
It's a sectional, right? And there's these like where the chairs basically meet to form the couch.
It's like a valley.
Right.
And then the rest is like an airbag that you sit on.
Right. It's a big bouncy airbag, and then the middle section is very hard. And if you jump on the couch or if you sit on the couch the wrong way, it can kind of, it's like sitting down on concrete. So I didn't love the couch, and I was happy to get rid of it. But the people who bought it were like, they just moved in, and they were from like the East Coast. They moved,
like
they
Kansas
drove.
Or something?
Yeah, they drove all this way, and they picked it up. It was a couple, and they had a little daughter who was really friendly.
Were they young, like our age?
No, they were. Well, they weren't old, but they were definitely older than me. If they were easily 20s. Like late 20s, like 28, 27. Very friendly people, and they were very nice, and they were somehow able to fit it into their minivan, like the whole thing, all 6 sections. They were able to stuff in the back, and I was just like, "You sure you can do it?" And they were like, "Oh yeah, we can figure it out." Like they said, they moved from Kansas with like nothing but this minivan. Like they didn't have a trailer or a U-Haul or anything.
They didn't even have any money in their bank account.
They probably had some money.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was just they were friendly, and they were on time, and
that's good.
They paid a fair price for it, and I was happy, and then they were happy, so I was just
it's a win-win, even if we didn't need that couch.
Yeah. I was happy to meet them. And then today, I sold the that glass desk that was in the gaming room, the one that I used to have my iMac Pro on.
It's a really nice desk.
It's pretty nice.
We just don't have room for it.
Yeah.
Cutting
no, we didn't need it.
Stuff in our life.
And I like my new setup a lot better, actually, to be honest. Like more than I'd like to admit, I prefer this.
Really?
Working from home.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I enjoy that going between tech streams and gaming streams. I don't have to like run down a hallway like I used to. It was fun to have that much space, but it was also getting a little impractical. I like now that it's like, okay, tech stream, like click, click, click. Mm-hmm. Okay, gaming stream, swivel, pull out controller, boom, we're ready to go. Same computer.
Right. And so is the window in the back for the gaming streams?
The window? What do you mean?
Yeah, because you're facing the TV, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is the window in the back?
No.
It's just a sideway.
It's a sideway look so that like I turn the smart bulb red.
Okay.
And then I'm kind of sitting in front of it.
That's cool.
And my chair is very comfortable. I like that for both my tech streams and my gaming streams, I get to sit in the PewDiePie chair, unlike before where I'd have to kind of go back and forth or move the chair.
It's very compact.
Right. It's very efficient, I would say. It's just nice that I have basically all of my editing stuff and all of my live streaming stuff on one desk. Like this is the first time from the home setup that I'm live streaming from the Mac Mini. Mini's just been kind of packaged up and, been sitting there. It would be very impractical to try to stream the Talks podcast from the iMac Pro. Because we'd have to unplug everything, bring it out here, hook
Unless
it up
you
somewhere.
wanted to stream like on that couch in there. That'd be kind of cool.
It'd be so
like,
cramped.
It'd be the new couch time.
Oh, right.
Just, like,
it would be
casual.
Super packed together. But no, I'm happy with this setup because we can set that tee up and we have space that we can put up a table, which is helpful for me as I have the keyboard and mouse and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of advantages to this. And this is our first Talks podcast from home. So I had to spend, you guys should see the mess that we're looking at right now.
I'll take a picture and you can tweet it. Well, you can tweet it afterwards.
Yeah, I'll tweet it later. But basically there's wires all over the living room right now, but it's because it's the first time we set this up. Once we take it down and we're done with the podcast for today, I'll try to leave everything plugged in as much as possible because before, when I wanted to do a tech stream, I would have to move everything over to the tech desk. And then when we do the Talks podcast, I would have to unplug it all and set it all up again in the podcast room. And now that the Mac Mini can just stay in one place and I don't have to move it, I'm enjoying that. So I like that.
I think efficiency is very helpful in many situations. I'm a very spatial person. So like we would try to figure out how to fit all our furniture in this room as wisely and efficiently as possible.
Yep.
Like our kitchen's tiny, but it has a lot of like compact little nooks and crannies that I can fit stuff in.
Right. And we just moved the table last night, and it already feels.
This table?
No, that table, the dining table, and it already feels like the kitchen's bigger. Like it's all. There's more walking area.
So we could place our milk for our milk and cookies there.
You made the best cookies in the world.
Thank you. That was my first time making cookies by myself. From scratch.
Oh, okay. I was like, you've made cookies before.
Yeah, that was always like the pre-made dough. But this time, like, I went all out. And I put like 3 cups of chocolate chips in it. But yeah, it was really good and really unhealthy. And hopefully we don't get diabetes, but we'll see in like 30 years.
How much cookie dough did you make?
It was around 4 pounds. And I actually made a tweet about it. So you guys can see how much cookie dough I made.
Yeah, follow her.
It's at G's Louise 18.
G's Louise 18. You can see our glorious cookie dough accomplishment. But no, I'm already looking forward to the next time we eat cookies.
Yeah,
we're like
it can't
Frog
be
and
every
Toad.
night though.
Why
we
not?
need self-control, like Frog and Toad.
They don't.
Yes.
That was the message.
That they have no self-control.
Remember how Toad ended with I don't know if you guys have heard of Frog and Toad. It's like a children's book that teaches kids about stuff. But we watched it because there's an episode where they make cookies that are really good and they just eat all of them nonstop. And it ends with a frog giving away all the cookies to birds, and the birds eat them all. And Toad's like, oh, now we don't have any more cookies. And then Frog goes, yeah, but we have willpower. And Toad says, you can have the willpower. I'm going to go bake a cake. And that's what we did, actually.
That's funny.
You did bake a cake.
Oh, yeah. I baked like 2 cakes these past days, and then I baked a ton of cookies. Today we had a 90s theme party, I guess, at my work. So that's why well, actually, I didn't wear this tie-dye shirt, but this would have been good. But I baked a confetti cake with like a bunch of sprinkles on it.
How was that party? Did you have fun?
It was good. It wasn't really like a party that, we took time off from work to like hang out. We just kind of like went in the break room, grabbed what we wanted.
Gotcha.
But let me tell you some of the throwback things that people bought. People brought cosmic brownies, Kool-Aid things, those plastic bottles with a twist cap at the top.
Wait, that's throwback?
Kind of, I guess.
I thought cosmic brownies were the best is what I meant to say.
No, throwback is in like from the 90s. It was just a lot of colorful food. I'm trying to think what else. They brought our Gushers from the 90s. Like fruit roll-up, fruit by the foot.
Maybe? That sounds good, though.
I'll think of more things.
Oh, is all the cake gone?
Yeah, it was really good. All the cake is gone.
Okay.
But I'm going to bake brownies this week, so I'll give you some brownies.
Thank you.
I want to answer a few questions that people had.
Sure, go ahead, please.
This is not Leafy. Unfortunately, Leafy passed away. RIP.
He didn't make it.
Yeah. His leaves just fell apart. So this one, I don't know. Should I call him Planty?
Planty.
Okay.
I like it.
Planty or Leafy 2.0.
Is this the one from Florida?
Yes. So we've told this story many times, but this
for those who don't know,
succulent was actually smuggled from Florida in Drew's backpack.
Yes, the TSA had to look through it.
Yeah, it was really funny though, because he put his backpack through the scanner, like the airport scanner, and then the guy stopped us, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, he's gonna confiscate our plant," and I was really scared. But then like he looked inside, and he was just like, "Okay, go on." I was like, "Really?"
I just said, "No, it's just marijuana."
It's that.
And he
easy?
said, "Oh, okay, fine."
Yeah. No. Don't even say that. You have impressionable kids watching you.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, we got a big super chat. First of all, we got a 99-cent super chat from Grant Hardy again.
Thank you, Grant.
Thank you very much. I think those are his freebie YouTube Premium super chats now, which have been floating around. So thank you. Lucas super chatted. He said, "I'm kind of new to your channel. Started to watch your channel from the Pixel month, but I want to wander. Any advice trying to join the Apple ecosystem?" Ooh.
Have a lot of money.
That doesn't hurt. That's a good one to start with.
Start off by like getting a used iPhone.
A used iPhone?
Yeah.
Really? What would be your recommended budget for someone who's just entering the Apple ecosystem?
You can easily find like a 7 or 7 Plus or even 8 for like around $400.
Oh, really? $400?
Yeah.
That's not bad.
And it's still like pretty new and up to date, I'd say.
You'll get the latest iOS.
Yeah.
There's that.
I was actually thinking of going back to my 6.
Really?
Yeah, I told you about this.
What are you on now?
I'm on the 10R. I'll show you guys.
We swapped
it's the pretty
back.
Blue.
Yeah.
Well, I used to think it was ugly, but the more I've used it, the more I like it. Now my nails kind of match.
Oh, that is cool. You learn to love it.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, now we're going off into another show that is probably less popular. It's called Married at First Sight.
Oh yeah. So we did our little reviews on the podcast about what's it called? 90 Day Fiance. Now we have a different marriage themed show.
What is it about those shows that are just really interesting?
I don't know. We're both married, so we can relate.
Yeah,
a little.
Guess.
We can compare and contrast to the people on the show.
This show is like pretty unique, interesting. Well, you guys know what like arranged marriages are. It's basically that, except their marriages are arranged by scientists and psychologists and like, these experts.
So-called.
Yeah.
Experts.
Like love experts.
Yeah.
And
what do they know?
Basically, on their wedding day, that's the first time they meet each other is as the bride is walking down the aisle. And for one of the couples, what was her name again? Jamie. It was Jamie and Doug.
Jamie and Doug. That's right.
When Jamie saw Doug for the first time as they were about to get married, she was like not happy at all. And later she said like, I'm not attracted to him at all.
They always play that over and over again.
Yeah.
It always makes you laugh.
But then like during the 5 weeks that they're married, because that's how long the experiment is, she learned to love him. So that's kind of how I'm treating this phone. I wasn't attracted to it at first. I'm still not attracted to it, but I think it's better. I like it more.
Louise unboxing 10R.
Yes.
I'm not attracted to this at all.
Yeah.
Lucas says, hard to upgrade because I have a OnePlus 6T.
No, why do you want to upgrade? That seems like a good phone.
If you have a 6T already, then maybe work on a different, like a more standalone Apple product. Probably a good one to enter with is the iPad.
Yeah, you can buy one for like $300.
That's true.
Maybe even less if you get it used.
They go on sale a lot if you get the $330 version, but that's kind of an older version. So I might recommend looking at the refurbished iPad Pros. Those are insanely good. The 10.5-inch one, that's the iPad you have. Mm-hmm. They're selling them now.
That I never use. It literally sits in our bedroom and does nothing.
Well, it's in the office now, actually. I used it in my iPad
is getting
Air
some
video.
use. I bought it from him.
Yeah.
Like a month before we got married with my own money, which is actually our money now, so it doesn't really matter.
That's true.
But you get to use it, even though you sold it to me.
You can use it too. You said
I just don't use it.
Your main reasoning for it was it's a giant AirDrop equipped hard drive.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, because you wanted to like offload. You were interested in it because it had half a terabyte. Remember?
Yeah. Well, it's my storage right now. My digital storage unit for all my photos and my videos. But I also watch YouTube on it, and I can probably like just look at my emails or something. But I can do that on my phone. Anyways, getting off topic, I wanted to go back to the 6 so that Drew could sell one of our more current iPhones, just because it seems kind of extravagant to have 3 of the newest iPhones. Plus, I have 2 iPhone 6s, and we have so many iPhone 5s and 4s, and I feel like the 6 would still work for what I need it to do.
You think you'd be okay with the 6?
Yeah. I mean, I was on it for like a year.
But what if it's like laggy and slow now? Would you put up with the lag?
It will teach me patience then.
Okay. Well, we don't have 3 of the latest phone.
Yes,
we do
we
have
do.
2.
We have. Oh, is the iPhone 8 Plus not recent anymore?
Well, 8 Plus is technically 2017 launch.
Oh wow, it's over
10S
a year
is 2018 launch.
This baby is ancient. Like imagine if as soon as a baby turned a year and a half old, they're like, you're irrelevant.
Well, most humans don't die when they're 10, whereas most phones die when they're like 6. Yeah.
In other countries, maybe.
Well, this is where the phones are sold. So, but yeah, I think the 6. Yeah, there's rumors that the iPhone 6 won't get iOS 13. But you might not care about that.
Yeah, I don't really know the differences.
That'd be an interesting challenge. I guess you're right that all 3 iPhones we have are from 2018 because it's the product red version. But the design is still from 2017.
Oh, so we did get it in 2018.
Well, they didn't release the product red 8 Plus until 2018, April.
So it is new.
But
kind of.
It's just a color, yeah. Other than that.
It's just the color. How dare you? It is the best color.
Red.
If I use the 6, would you sell this?
I would sell the 8 Plus.
Really?
I like the 10R more than the 8 Plus.
Why?
Because I use the secondary phone for live streams, and the 10R has a rear-facing camera and a front-facing camera that does 1080 at 60. So as a secondary phone, that one also is more valuable. That one is worth more, so I'd rather keep that one than the 8 Plus.
Explain to me why you need 2 1080p cameras either way, like front-facing.
Convenience, mostly.
You know what else you could do? You could get a mirror, so you could see yourself live streaming. That would save you like $1,000 right there.
The mirror would have to be up high.
Why? Because you're streaming.
Because
like
the gimbal's up here, looking down at my desk in editing. So I would have to set up the mirror every time and take it down. We could also not have 3 cameras here, and we could just hold the phone and go back and forth like this for the podcast. Anytime you talk, I hold it like this, and then when I talk, I hold it like this.
The sarcasm is so thick in this room right now.
It's not It's not sarcasm. It's just a counterpoint. It's just me saying.
Well, I don't think that's quite the same.
What?
Replacing 3 cameras with 1 phone that isn't higher quality than that, or isn't as high quality.
Right. I'm just saying, like, there's things that convenience are worth over saving money.
Yeah.
Conveniences are pretty great.
Well, you could still stream with the 8 Plus and maybe just be less narcissistic that you need to look at yourself all the time.
I don't need to look at myself all the time. It's just that.
Why are you the one facing the TV then?
So that I can make sure if the bandwidth goes out. Same reason I want to use the 10R.
Am I blind? Can I not do that?
Okay. Are we dropping frames right now?
Well, if I was sitting there, I would know.
Well, if something goes wrong, I kind of know how to like correct things.
Hey, Nick's in the chat.
Oh, hey, Nick Sweeney, who was on our last Talks podcast from weeks ago, but we're finally back at it.
Yeah. Hi, Nick. How you doing?
Thanks for tuning in.
He got his 2 free super chats.
There's the 2 freebies. Thank you so much for your support.
And to the people in the chat who are like, do you guys even read the messages or the chats? Yes, we do. We do read them, even if you don't super chat, but we just don't have time to read every single one. So.
We don't read all of them.
Yeah.
We will tune in here and there, but if it was just read whatever was in the chat nonstop, answer just the questions in the chat, then it would be nonstop. It would just be us. What is this? This is this, and then it would get tiring. So we need some topics that last at least.
Right. Was there another topic you wanted to talk about?
We got a €5 super chat from Daniel.
Ooh, how many dollars is that?
I don't know, but thank you very much. I'm still grateful for it. It's about $5.
Thank you, Daniel.
We have been what are we in now? Week 2 of our vegetarian or vegan? Vegetarian diet.
And we're not the best at it, by the way. Don't judge us.
Why not? Why aren't we the best at it?
Because we had top ramen, even though like it technically doesn't have meat in it. Like the powder has traces of meat.
Okay. I don't want to get into the specifics.
Yeah, we're not getting into semantics. We're
not the semantics. We're just generally not eating, burgers, hot dogs, or tri-tip, which has been offered to us so many times. And
I know. We're missing out on all the good barbecue.
Yeah, there's a lot of good barbecue or chicken or things like that. We're not avoiding meat like animal products altogether. Like we're still eating eggs.
Yeah.
And it was just a challenge you came up with. Why did you want to do this challenge? What was the thought process?
I don't know. I started a new job at the same company I've been working for. And one of the new trainees that I was trained with was vegan, and he was just talking about it. And it sounded kind of interesting to not be like addicted to meat, I guess, and it's not the healthiest thing you could eat. And I just thought it'd be nice to just take a break from it and see if I can actually have that like self-control and determination. And so far it's been working out pretty well. Like I've learned to cook a lot of new foods thanks to this new diet. Like I learned how to cook
good foods.
Falafel.
Yeah.
Falafel's really good, guys, with hummus.
That was delicious.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
I did.
And then I like cook other things like soups and stews and curries and salads. I made deviled eggs for Drew, which I love deviled eggs. I didn't even know he liked deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs are amazing.
To become vegetarian.
I legit ate like
it was a half dozen.
So
that's 12.
Just in one night, I was just like,
I'm
sorry. I wanted to load the thing on my phone.
No worries.
Yeah, that was delicious. And
it's so easy to make too.
I wouldn't say this challenge is that hard.
No.
To be honest, it's like someone asked me during the gaming stream today. They said, "What's harder, using an Android phone or being vegetarian?" And I said, "Using an Android phone, because that affects lots of things throughout the day. That affects your messages, that affects your social media, that affects my ecosystem, that affects how I text and how I call and how I turn into a green bubble for other people. Being vegetarian, like, what?
Sorry, go on.
Okay.
The green bubble comment.
It's bigger than just the color difference. It has more to do with ecosystem. But anyway, being vegetarian really only affects 2 things in the day: lunch and dinner. Because I barely ever eat meat with breakfast.
Oh, yeah, that's
like
true.
Even before we went vegetarian, most of my time I either forgot to eat breakfast or had cereal or fruit. Most cereal doesn't have meat in it. So
ooh, they should invent that.
Ooh, they can make something we can't have.
Meatios.
Oh, that was genius, honey. I like that. Meatios.
Would it just be like
bacon bits in milk?
Ew. That sounds nasty.
What? It's cereal. What was your idea for Meateos?
I don't know, like a donut made out of. What?
That's donuts don't mean it.
Wait, donuts do have meat or don't?
Donuts don't have meat in them.
Yeah.
I mean, inherently, you can get bacon.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, meat and milk don't really sound good together.
Oh, that sounds great. It's kind of like.
It?
It's kind of like those dishes that serve chicken with egg. You know how kind of messed up that is for the chicken? It's like we take your egg and then we bathe you in it with your flesh. Like, that's what...
When you put it like that, that's just morbid.
Well, that's what it is when you think about it. It's delicious,
I try not to think about
but it's kind of morbid. Now imagine dumping a beef, like dumping cow's meat into cow's milk. You know? Like, it's kind of messed up how we're consuming the cattle.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that.
Okay.
I'm kind of happy I went vegetarian.
We should catch up on Super Chats. We got a lot
what was
here.
the last one we did? Daniel?
Yeah, Daniel. Digital Sense says his buddy was on the first season of Married at First Sight.
I think it's pronounced Signs.
Signs.
Oh, really? Wait, the first season. Okay, who's your buddy?
Who was your buddy?
That's the season we watched.
Look us up. We'll interview them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk to them. We'll ask them about it.
The...
He said my buddy, so I assume it was one of the guys.
Well, yeah, hopefully. What if it's a girl? My buddy Lauren.
Would you refer... My buddy Lauren. Would you refer to a girlfriend as your buddy?
No. I don't really call people buddy.
Okay.
There's only one person in my life who called me buddy, and it's kind of weird. He always say, "Hey, buddy." Hey, he called me Jeezy. Like, instead of Jeez Louise, he'd call me Jeezy.
Jeezy.
It's kind of weird.
I feel like for some reason buddy has a male connotation.
Yeah.
It's like
Bud, pal.
Bud.
Don't call me bud, pal.
Not as much as dude.
I call you dude all the time.
Yeah.
You call me dude.
I love it. It's fine. You get.
I say bruh a lot.
You would get like apologetic sometimes when you call me dude. Remember that?
Yeah.
When we were dating, you'd be like,
because it's
dude, I'm sorry.
It's
I didn't mean to do that.
unladylike. And
you don't have to be ladylike all the time.
Yeah, but I don't want to like just treat you like a friend, you know? Like, this is more serious than that.
It is serious. I want to know that you can be yourself around me, you know?
Well, I can be myself around you without calling you dude.
But if you
pal.
naturally do it, you know, like without thinking, you call me dude, then I'm like, okay, that's fine. Because like that means
point.
she's being herself.
Back to vegetarianism. Oh, no, we're doing
Super chats.
Okay, Daniel said, do you think that Unbox Therapy will try to bend, in quotations, the new Samsung Fold like the iPhone 6? Well, doesn't it bend on purpose?
He loves the Galaxy Fold, so he's not going to criticize it. Next tech videos on the Fold, by the way. Look forward to that rant coming soon. And then Ian Lindsay says the new podcast setup looks good. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You put so much work into it. I'm glad you like it. Thank you. I knew everyone would have their own take on it, but thank you for supporting, and thank you for super chatting very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And also, this mouse is for controlling the Mac Mini, which is manning the live stream off camera, which I've explained about
20 times.
20? This is the 21st time. About once per episode.
Yeah.
Probably safe to assume.
Seems that way.
It's not connected to the iPad. It's connected to the Mac Mini, which is over there. Anyways, go on. It was Digital Science or whatever says... Oh, he says I was right. Since.
Okay. Sorry.
What's his?
Vaughn?
Vaughn.
Oh,
he was friends with
his
Vaughn.
name? Oh, okay. I did not think Vaughn and Monet were good together at all. Like, they seemed really unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
But
they didn't get along very well.
That's not for me to judge.
Yeah. Well, I mean...
They did get divorced. So, after 5 weeks.
Oh, they did? I never saw the ending.
Oh, sorry. I watched the episode without you.
Well, I knew the ending.
I'm sorry.
I could tell where it was going. I fell asleep that day.
Yeah. I let you fall asleep.
Thank you, honey. You're too respectful.
Thanks. So back to vegetarianism.
Yeah.
How has your experience been? Like, you said it's not too hard.
No, it's not hard at all.
Are there certain things you're craving more or that you miss eating?
I've described it as a mild inconvenience. It's like there's something, you know, when you get hungry, you have to ask yourself, okay, what do I want to eat? And that's now meat is just one of those things. It's like, oh, I could get, oh, wait, I can't. I'm on the challenge. Mm-hmm. Okay, eat something else. And that's it. It's really been pretty simple.
Yeah.
I haven't had any, like this experiment has proven to me that I'm not addicted to meat. because I'm not craving it or anything. I'm not like going throughout the day going like, I want a burger, I want a steak, I want to try it. Like I'm fine. And I have also really enjoyed all the foods we've been trying that you've been making that are like yesterday we had meatless hot dogs.
Yeah.
What were those made of?
So it's, I can't remember the brand. I think it's called like Lighthouse or something. But it was a chorizo flavored veggie hot dog or veggie sausage. And it was just made out of soybean, which is really cool. But it looks like a regular hot dog. And then I cooked it on the pan and it gets like, you know, kind of burnt and crispy.
Right.
I love burnt hot dogs. I don't know why. I like them better than just plain hot dogs. And then we just put it in a bun with some like relish and ketchup and mustard and all that good stuff. And it tasted pretty good. How did you describe it?
To me, when I first bit into it, I didn't know what to expect because never in my life have I ever tried like meatless stuff, like meat substitute, which is bizarre because it looks so much like meat. They look like hot dog, you know, what are they called? The sausages. Yeah. And I was like, man, that looks like a, and it says right on there, there's like no meat and it's made of this other material. And I was like, okay, I'm worried how it's going to handle my, you know, system.
Yeah, you were worried that it would upset your stomach. But in reality, soybean is better for your digestive system than meat is.
Oh, and it was mostly soybean?
It's all soybean. Like,
all soy?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like that's the main ingredient is, well, it's like water and then soybean.
Wow. Okay.
And then like spices. And it was actually like spicier and like more flavorful almost than a regular hot dog.
Kind of, yeah. I would have to like back to back compare if I had both. But when I first bit into it, I described it as a spicy sloppy Joe. It's basically that sloppy Joe kind of savoriness, I guess you could say, and it had a little spice to it, which I wasn't expecting because a lot of hot dogs don't. Some hot dogs do, but yeah, I tried it and it was good. I wanted more of it, and I was instantly like, can I have more?
It felt like too much meat for me, actually. So you finished the last half of my hot dog.
Yes.
Even it wasn't meat, but it was like
I wanted more.
Too meaty.
Yeah.
And then I also made tofu kebabs with pineapple, bell peppers, mushrooms, and zucchini in it. It was pretty good. Like a bunch of different flavors, and we cooked it on the grill, so it had that smokiness.
Did. I didn't feel left out, even though the rest of the family was eating meat. I was like, this is great. I like this stuff. We should try getting it more. Yeah,
for sure. We can do that.
I could go for it tonight.
Oh, the hot dog?
Yeah.
You don't want nachos instead?
I do want nachos. I want whatever's easiest for you. Whatever's most convenient and comfortable.
They're both convenient.
That would be the nice thing. But
yeah, I've been loving this experience so far.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I feel like I have more control over like what I eat.
How so? More control? Even though you have less control now.
Well, it's like less convenient. I understand that. But now I'm like cooking at home more rather than going out all the time. I know exactly what's going into my food.
Yeah, that's true. It forces you to pay closer attention to what's in things, which is kind of interesting. Because now when you look at something, you're like, wait, is there meat in this? Nope. Okay. But it does have soy and tofu and what is it?
Well, lucky for you, I've been doing most of the cooking, so you don't really have to think about it.
That's
you
true.
just have to tell me what you want, and then I'll make it for you.
And I'm very spoiled. But I try to be easygoing.
Yeah, you've been good.
You've never made something I didn't like. That's right, isn't it?
Really?
I can't think of something you've made, and I was like, oh, honey, I can't eat this. Has that ever happened?
No.
I'm not
picky,
though. I made you
French toast the other day.
Did I not eat it?
No, I was just saying. It's another thing I made.
Oh.
I have a whole list of like things.
It was delicious.
But I think so far, one of my favorite things is the falafel.
I feel so lucky, honestly.
Oh, I feel lucky too. You spoil me in other ways.
I'm glad.
You make me grilled cheese sandwiches sometimes. Those are the best.
Those are really good.
I've taught you well.
That's true. Soy being bad for you is a myth unless you have 18 portions per day or some ridiculous amount. I don't think we have 18 portions.
No. We probably had like a quarter of one portion.
Didn't you also make shish kebabs with what was on them? They looked like meat. Was it? Tofu.
Yeah.
That's right.
I already said that, honey.
Sorry. I'm trying to remember.
I can go over it again.
That looked just like meat.
Really?
You could have.
It was literally just tofu that I mixed with J. Leroy sauce, which is this kind of like barbecue sauce. It's really good. It has a little kick to it. And then I just mixed it in there and then put it on the stick And then once you barbecue it, it kind of looks like chicken.
It looked just like chicken.
Did it taste like chicken?
You handed me the shish kebab and you were like, here you go. And I was like, what? No. Look, there's chicken on it. And she's like, no, that's tofu. And I was like, I've never had tofu. I shouldn't
have told you what it was.
Or I have had tofu and I didn't know.
Yeah.
I've never consciously had tofu.
Yeah.
Which sounds
I'm still
wrong.
Experimenting with like all the different kinds of things I can make with tofu. But it's very versatile. Just pretend it's chicken and just like cook it like normal.
Just cook it.
Yeah. Just cook it.
Just cook it. Yeah. No, I'm fine with this experience. I'm looking forward to it being over though at the same time.
Yeah, me too.
I do miss meat.
The last day of our challenge, because it's 3 months long, is July 1st. So right in time for 4th of July. And also Drew's sister is getting married on July 7th, I think.
Yeah.
That means everyone, all your siblings, including you, is going to be married.
Everyone's married.
And we're all under like 26. How old's your sister, your oldest sister?
Let's see. My oldest sister was born in 95, March. So she's 24 then.
Are you sure? No,
yeah, it's
she'd
2019.
be 29.
Do the math.
No, I'm talking about Abby.
Yeah, I am too. Oh, I got the birth dates mixed up. Emily's birthday's in 95. My bad. Abby's birthday is in 92, I believe. So she's 27. I think March. It's 92. I should know.
27. She already has a baby.
That's true. She does.
Anyways, that's probably enough vegetarian talk for now.
Anyway, yeah.
It's been a good experience. We'll give you guys an update in like 2 months.
And I'm having a big burger at the end of this.
Oh, you deserve it.
Thank you.
I don't know. I think I'm going to have fried chicken.
I think it'll make me appreciate meat more.
Yeah.
After not having it for what days today?
Today is the 16th day of not
So 16th day of no meat.
Yeah. The longest I've ever been vegetarian was 3 weeks. So in like 5 days.
What was the last instance? Why was you vegetarian for 3 weeks?
I was in high school and I was like, oh, meat is horrible for you and it hurts animals to eat them, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I wasn't like as vocal about it, but it was really hard because my family would still order like pepperoni pizza and nothing for me. So I'd have to figure out like what to eat.
Just take the pepperoni off or...
I don't remember what I did exactly, but they just weren't in support of it. So it's hard when you live at home and your parents aren't vegetarian. You really have to like be determined about it.
Yeah, I think socially is the most complex part.
It's so hard.
When we go over to people's houses and they have tri-tip, I feel mean. I feel bad for being like, oh, I'm not. You smoked this, you cooked this. I'm not gonna eat it. You know,
right? That's disrespectful.
That's the hardest part. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
But
just the personal side of it is fine, but probably that's the worst part is like last night when my dad cooked tri-tip and made it for everyone and I was like, nope, not going to have that. I was like, God. Anyways, so you used to be are you still on the side of like be vegetarian because you don't want animals to die for food or do you still follow that?
I think no. Like, I don't want to hurt animals and I don't want any living being to suffer. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, animals are on this earth to feed us. Like, it's selfish to think that.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm doing my part by just eating less meat, even though it's not like eventually, like once we're off this diet, this challenge, I'm going to try to eat less meat anyways. Because I think it is kind of inhumane. Not kind of. It is inhumane and cruel the way that they are raised and the way they are slaughtered. And, yeah, I feel bad for existing, but meat tastes really good. And
that compensates. Yeah. It gets really morally messy, though, when you start getting into, like, I don't want anything to die because of me.
Yeah.
Because at the same time, it's like, it's going to happen regardless.
Yeah, like, what do you think is, like, moral and, like, what's the boundary? Like, if you kill an ant, you're still killing a being.
It's another being of this earth.
Right, so what's the boundary for you? Like, for me, I have no qualms about killing ants because they
or termites.
Or termites.
We've killed, in regards to, like, other beings we've killed, we're talking, like, millions.
Yeah, we're kind of murderers.
So whether or not it's a termite or an ant, and if you want to get really specific, microorganisms.
Yeah.
Which can live inside you, or they live on your skin, and you kill them all the time.
By washing your hands.
Just by washing your hands.
Yeah,
or
how dare you let them live on your hands.
White blood cells kill bacteria in your body, which are technically organisms that are not you.
That's a physiological function you don't control.
So you're saying if you have control, save them, but if you don't have control...
I'm saying do what you want. I'm going to do me, you do you. I think it's a very personal choice to eat what you eat. Mm-hmm. And I know, like, for different religions, they don't eat pork or beef or whatever because they worship those animals and they think they're sacred. And I respect that as well. So however you want to live your life, just try not to impede on other people's ways of living.
Right. No, anyone can eat whatever they want. I'm all in favor of that. I just try to... I'd like to meet someone who's really into the don't eat meat because save the animals. Like, I want to meet someone like that and have a debate with them, because it's like, where do you draw the line, though? Is it mammals? Is it intention? Is it like eating meat intentionally is wishing death to the animal? But like Marcel said, the animal's going to die regardless. And
yeah, but those animals tend to get to live free. Like, let's say, well, there aren't really wild cows, but these animals are only living for the intention of being killed. So they're not really living a life. They're in a cage or whatever. Right.
And so is the thought process, and I'm not saying this is wrong, I just want to understand it better. Like, is the thought process, don't eat meat so that the demand for the meat industry goes down and then they'll stop existing? Is that it?
Not
is like a boycott?
Completely, but I know cows are very bad for the environment, like all the methane they produce that kills the ozone layer.
Well, probably most cows that exist today exist because we breeded them.
Yeah, because we eat meat. But if we ate like even half as much meat, then we would cut that pollution in half. I'm just being
to me, it would just be like, yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I'm not like, I hate those people, or I don't want more of those people. I'm fine with it. I just want to understand the viewpoint a little bit more, because I have heard of that, and I've seen it briefly, but I've never had to have like a discussion about it, because to me it's like, it's difficult to draw that line of where it's like, well, this is okay to kill, this isn't okay to kill, and I'm not going to eat meat because hopefully that will drive demand down of the meat industry, and then that'll result in there being less need for more cows, because to me it would be like an impossible battle. If I had that mentality, it would be like, okay, but so many people are going to keep eating meat anyway, and they're all going to keep, mass producing cows, and more people are going to be on Earth. They're going to want to eat more. So to me, it's like, what's the point? What is me stopping going to do? And to others out there, like, it's perfectly fine that, like, yeah, it probably won't make a difference, but I'll do my part. I'll do what I think everyone should do. So,
yeah, my mom actually, she raises pigs in the Philippines. She
really?
has, she has a little pig farm. She has maybe like 3 to 5 of the big pigs, and then they have a bunch of babies, and then she sells those babies and raises some of them. Okay. But she grows them to be really big, and then someone buys them and slaughters them. So I feel like even though it's still the same thing, it's kind of more humane, because she actually like raises them and like takes care of them, and loves them.
Live a regular pig life.
Yeah.
They're not.
I mean, they're still in pig
not in a
pens,
box.
They are, though.
Oh,
so
okay.
maybe that's still inhumane. I don't know, but...
Well, they're not human, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, where does the rights... Where do the rights stop? Like,
right.
What do we protect?
It's messy.
Because, like, for pets, we have a lot of
rights
true. To them, like animal abuse, stuff like that. That doesn't go towards cows, though, because they're not considered pets. So maybe the solution is we start having cows as pets, bring them into our homes.
Oh my God, domesticated.
Oh my God, I would love a cow. I just want to like ride him.
That's basically
into
me.
The sunset. Like, what?
I'm just a slightly smarter cow.
Why would you say that about yourself?
Because I'm big and I eat a lot. I have 4 stomachs.
No, you don't.
And I spend most of the day grazing.
Grazing on the carpet.
And I have spots.
This is a bad analogy.
It would be smelly, but it's true. Like,
smelly.
Ranchers are allowed to brand cows, but you notice you can't brand your dog,
right?
or your cat.
Well, they put...
As funny as that sounds.
What if we put collars on cows instead of branding them? Like, you know how we put collars on dogs so that we can keep track of them if they run away or whatever?
Why don't we do that?
So a cow runs away.
Like a cowbell.
They do have cowbells. Some of them.
Yeah.
Maybe it's too expensive? Because they're not keeping them for years and years and years.
Why can't you just put a collar on it? I don't understand.
Expensive.
More expensive than branding it?
Yeah. Because branding it, that's one brand for many cows versus one collar for each cow. Plus...
Oh, is that the collars can be taken off? Maybe? It's too easy?
Maybe.
Like, I don't know much about cattle, but maybe
I really want to pet a cow now.
They don't...
Doesn't that sound nice?
Yeah. I'm scared of cows. I've been around them a lot in my life.
Yeah.
On our bike rides, we usually bike ride through places with lots of cattle. And sometimes the trails will go right through like big herds of them. And it's scary, actually, because you realize like they're big and they're big beings and they're probably not very smart. And as soon as they feel threatened, they could mess you up.
They think the same thing about us.
Well, I'm not. They probably don't think he's bigger than me because I'm not.
The smart part. I think that's a little mean to say cows aren't smart. Haven't you ever seen a cow paint? They're very smart. Cows are very smart.
You should give math to a cow and see how it does.
Yes.
Could a cow run a YouTube channel?
Well, they don't have hands, so that would be a problem.
Mentally. Do they have the mental capacity to run a YouTube channel?
If Logan Paul can, then I'm sure we can get some people.
That is a great counterpoint. Thank you.
I'm saying the cow just needs to hire a couple people, an editor, a film director.
The cow needs to hire a few
I will be the PR person for the cow. We'll start an Instagram for the cow. What shall we call the cow? Cheryl. Cheryl the cow.
He makes YouTube movies.
Yeah. Mr. Bidwell super chatted. He said you should try the Impossible or Beyond Meat burgers.
I want to. I've heard about them, but I don't exactly know of a good place to get them. I heard about the Burger King Impossible Burger, but our local Burger King doesn't have them because it's only in
It's in Missouri right now.
Missouri
They're doing a
Burger
soft
Kings.
launch at 90 locations, and then if it does well, then they'll do it to the other 7,000 locations across the U.S.
Do you think there's another restaurant that has it?
Yeah, it's called Our Kitchen. I will make you a veggie burger. I'm sure it's not that hard. It's probably
it's probably not.
Chickpeas or something.
Yeah. No, if we just took the vegan sausage, ground it up into a patty.
Well,
boom.
they have fake ground meat.
Oh, okay.
We
there
can
you
just
go.
do that. We can add cheese on it. See, we're still abusing the cow by taking all of its milk.
We have eaten a lot of cheese since this diet.
Yeah, that's probably bad.
That's another issue, I guess, with the don't eat meat for the sake of the animals.
What?
Is that you have to also not partake in all of the other things they use animals for.
Yeah, to hurt them.
That they hurt them, whether it be milk. And also, it gets way too messy because you got to remember that they use milk in other things. Mm-hmm. And they also use animals' expense for oils.
There are dairy-free options for milk as well. And cheese.
Right.
It's more expensive. But
True. I'm just saying, there's a bunch of animal product that is probably used in a non-friendly way. I'm just saying, whatever chemicals they're getting from the chicken or from the pig or from the cow, it's probably not
Did you say we get milk from the pig?
No, I said chemicals.
Why don't we have
bacon juice?
No, bacon
They
juice.
use different animal product in different oils.
Yeah.
Like vegetable oil or not vegetable oil.
There's no animal product in vegetable oil, hence the name.
There's a bunch of animal product used in everyday things.
Like what?
Like glue from horses.
I don't think they actually use horses for glue anymore. I'm pretty sure that's a myth. Can someone look it up?
I don't know the specifics, but I'm just saying.
Well,
yeah, do you draw the line at plants?
There are substitutes for everything.
Are plants not living things?
They are,
but they're not sentient.
They come from the earth naturally.
So do cows and
but plants
chicken.
can live without us actually. Oh, good point.
Isn't it just a giant moral mess?
Yeah.
Isn't
I
it?
would draw the line at animals, though.
Okay, here's a great point. I really want to meet someone who's like against meat for the sake of
Well, meet
animals.
my coworker. He's super like.
No pun intended.
What?
You said meet my coworker. No, like here's another great argument I have against it.
Okay.
Is are carnivores inherently evil then?
No.
Why? Because they don't have a choice?
Personal. No, you have the choice, but you don't think it's...
Carnivores don't.
You do have the choice.
Yeah, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about other animals. Like that strictly eat meat.
Like, are they immoral?
They're inherently immoral and evil because all they do is eat.
Hun.
Right, that's my point. That's why I don't care about eating them. But if they were to suggest that, hey,
wow.
they're just another being, we should respect them. Just like I'm not trying to do a dumb person voice. I'm just trying to do a different voice. Just like I'm a being, they're a being. Let's respect each other. And it's like, so are you saying that mountain lion is evil because he doesn't eat vegetables? That mountain lion exclusively eats other animals.
Natural.
Well, why is that morally acceptable?
Survive. That's how they survive.
So that's how I survive.
But you can survive without it.
So omnivores are hypocrites.
I wouldn't go too deeply into what animals think because they don't have morals like us. They just do whatever.
No, I know. That's the funny thing is people who are like save the bears. A bear would eat anyone if it had to, like in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So they're simply saying because we have the option to not eat meat, we should. But that gets messy with the plants. Why is plants
because they can't
organism
feel things, I guess. Like if you pick a tomato off of the vine, it's not going to be like
well, it doesn't have a mouth.
Screaming.
How would it tell us that?
Exactly. So that's where the line is. They must have eyes and mouths and noses.
So we're biased to protect organisms like ourselves.
Yes, that have nervous systems. Okay, that's where it is. Nervous systems, they can feel things. They can
Are we
feel
absolutely
pain.
confident plants don't feel pain?
I've never heard a plant scream.
Have you heard of like what about a tree falling over? The sound the branches cracking. It's screaming.
That's Can someone tell me some scientific proof to prove him wrong?
When you're in the
branch
forest,
cracking.
When you're in the forest and you hear a tree fall over.
That would be a good skit, but we would have to kill a tree to do that. I'm not for killing trees either.
Really?
A tree built this house, so I guess I'm thankful for all the trees. That we were passing by this like back road in our hometown, and I saw a bunch of logs. And that kind of like shook me a little bit to see, because we're not a logging town. But
that's basically tree
death, cemeteries,
Auschwitz,
tree corpses like piled on each other.
Tree corpses piled on each other.
See, now we need to cut the line somewhere because the trees don't feel pain, but it does hurt the environment because now there's less.
So if bacteria has like nerve endings in it, and your body kills it, that's out of your intention, so it's okay?
What do you mean how it works? Our body kills it, like if we chop it down?
Like if there's a virus inside us, the white blood cells kill it.
Kill the plant.
Kill the bacteria inside us.
Yeah.
Okay, it has a nucleus, it has a brain. Maybe it can feel. It's got
I don't think it has a brain.
It does. It has like places where DNA is created. Now we're getting into what's the definition of brain?
A multi-celled organ, I guess.
Okay, then yeah.
Tissues.
The bacteria counts as a living thing. It's alive. It's inside us at all times.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a brain. It can't think.
It has a nucleus, yeah. So if it can't think for itself.
Man,
basically,
it's been a while since I took biology.
I think humans have drawn the line at like, if it cannot tell us to not eat it, then we're going to eat it, basically.
Bacteria has cells, no brain. What's the definition of life?
Aren't we all figuring that out at the same time?
Oh, brother.
Never use soap. It kills germs.
True.
We should probably wrap it up.
We're soap killers.
We're going to keep getting deeper and deeper. This is going to get worse. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in to the Tailosive Talks podcast. Really appreciate you. Thank you for all the super chats and for watching.
This has been a fun comeback.
And I'm glad OBS is doing good.
We'll do another 20 episodes here, and then we'll move again.
Oh, God.
Sound good?
I hope more than 20 this time.
Yeah, no, we'll do like 1,000 probably.
Whoa, 1,000.
Yeah, well, let's hit 1,000. Let's make that our goal. That's 1,000 hours, basically.
Okay, so if we did a podcast a day, it would take us over 3 years.
Oh, shoot.
That's a lot.
Well, I don't think we're going to be here for 3 years.
No, I don't either.
We'll be dead, like all the animals.
And we're definitely not doing one a day, so.
Yeah, we'll do
probably like 300. Over the course of...
that would take us 3 years.
200.
2 years.
Over the course of 2 years, there's 700 days.
Yeah, but we're doing about 3 a week. That's 52 weeks. So 150 a year. Right? Am I doing math correctly? So in 2 years, we would have 300.
Yeah, that's what I said.
So, okay.
All right.
Let's make that a goal.
Cool. We'll make that our goal.
300.
Hopefully we can get to 300 before, and we have a little bit of buffer room. 279 to go before we have to move again. Sweet. So let's not move for a while.
And we're going to Texas, right? Either Texas or the moon.
We don't know.
Or Mars.
I'm rooting for the moon, but if the moon doesn't work out, Mars is good.
They have moon cheese there.
Moon cheese.
And moon cows. We could have cows floating around.
Oh my God. Apple Sheep just said the word toodles.
Oh my gosh, I said that today.
You did?
Okay. This is not a coincidence. Are you kidding? Wait, why did I say toodles? Apple Sheep?
Bruh.
That's so weird. Because, like, yesterday, I said toodles to someone. I was like, did that just come out of my mouth? Like, who am I?
Bruh.
Did I think I was Ashley Tisdale from High School Musical? Toodles.
Bye, guys. Bye. Thanks for watching. See you later.
I
2
love
days?
You.
In 2 days?
You are beautiful.
Thank you.
You are smart.
I am. Smarter than a cow.
Are you still live streaming? You're supposed to end it.
No, I'm asking when our next one's going to be.
Thursday.
See you on Thursday.
Do Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. I mean, Saturday. See, that's confusing.
Tuesday, Thursday?
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Like our old schedule.
Cool.
We'll be back on it.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.